Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today in Gems of War we got a little bit of an unexpected thing that has actually never happened before, currently occurring. For this weekend, several past tarot cards, not all of them, but a good number of them, will be craftable in the Soulforge. So they have a little reminder here, just kind of saying that with a little bit of gems that it has. So yeah, this is the first time this has ever happened. They do cost 500 gems each, and of course, one thing they're trying to do, they're doing a Thanksgiving gem sale, so obviously they're trying to get people, bait them into spending gems. However, of course, you can farm gems off of your hourly tribute. You can get it infinitely off of treasure hunt. If you still have any vault keys laying around, you could try hoping you land on gems. Doing treasure hunts is about 50 to 80 per hour, and you can kind of just keep stacking up that way. If you have any gold keys laying around, you can use those. However, during this video, mostly just going to be going over the priority list as far as the tarot cards are concerned. So if you're currently missing any, which ones to prioritize for, and which ones are the absolute worst to go for. Anyways, let's start from the top as far as which one is probably the most useful to go for. And I would probably say the Sun. The main reason for this, also, I'm not basing any of these based on what the card actually does. I'm doing it purely on what they can craft. So the Sun, this is pretty good because it ends up doing Skroll Reborn, and out of everything that a card can currently craft, this is arguably one of the strongest, or at least kind of tied in the first position. Skroll Reborn ends up creating 5 yellow gems and converts all yellows to Doom Skulls, and then summons a bunch of wargs. It's basically a weaker version of something like Lord of Slaughter. However, it does ultimately come out to a cheaper cost than Lord of Slaughter, because unlike Lord of Slaughter, which realistically you're probably going to craft off of 4,000 diamonds, this only costs 8 major orange orbs, and of course owning the Sun, and a little bit of souls. So basically the main thing keeping you from getting this is the Sun itself. It's super ridiculously cheap to actually craft once you have the Sun, which makes a pretty good priority to actually get the Sun itself. So the other one that is pretty good value is end up going for the Emperor. As far as the Emperor, this ends up doing a Leonis tower, which requires a lot of legendary ingots, but if you already have all the legendary weapons upgraded, this isn't really much of a cost at all. Similar to the other one, it's basically free, since a lot of endgame players, or even just late game in general, probably have a lot of excess orange, and so you might have reached a point where you just don't need trade stones anymore. But as far as the tower, this is a pretty noteworthy troop due to Invulnerable. It is one of only currently 8 player-owned troops within the game that have the Invulnerable trait, as well as 2 of them that aren't one of the useless Dooms. So the Dooms are pretty much never used, 6 Dooms, which makes the only 2 troops that technically have it that are player-owned are Enraged Carandera, which will cost a ridiculous amount of resources, as much as Zugov, and obviously Zugov is better. But the cheaper one to get, of course, is Leonis Tower. So this is okay. I don't feel like I use it much, but it definitely has some potential. I see some people occasionally using it on Guild Wars because of its immune to insta-kill, so like on like really heavy Zugov days. It is hard countered by tower slaying troops because it does count as a tower typing. It also means it doesn't really have any kind of typing synergy, since it's actually the only tower currently within the game that is player owned. But it does have Stone Skin combined with Invulnerable, which against non-tower slaying troops is exceedingly tanky. Also gets a little bit of stuns in there, and its ability is okay. It deals some damage to the first 2 enemies, stuns them, and then gains barrier. Nothing too special. However, it's mostly used for its Invulnerable trait if you're going to bother bringing it out, particularly if you're doing like a double Invulnerable trait where you're using this Enraged Carandera and like 2 other troops in order to set it as a Guild War defend team on days that happen to have a lot of Zugovs. That's probably its main purpose, but it's kind of like an alternative tank otherwise. So the next one, as far as priority list, is a little bit weird because currently it actually is not used for anything. However, the fact that it isn't currently used for anything means it might be used for something good, question mark. The Star. So the Star is basically pointless right now, in that you only just get it for kingdom upgrading purposes, and it doesn't have like a direct usage other than if you're just using it for its ability itself, which pretty much no tarot card is used for. However, we don't know what this thing will currently craft. We just still currently don't know, and because of that, it might be good, it might be bad, who knows? But compared to the other crafts that we have, it's probably your next priority, so that's probably third. So now we have the Sun as highest, then the Emperor, then the Star. And the other ones that we have then are, I believe, just 2 others. The, gosh, I just went past the other one. I'm trying to find it. The Moon. So the Moon is next priority. Not super high priority, however, it's used to get the other Hatir and Skroll troop, specifically Hatir Ascendant. Hatir Ascendant, it's already starting to be worse because it requires 8 major blues, and those never stop being good. So it's already quite a bit more expensive than the 8 major oranges, which eventually just completely fall off when you don't need trait stones anymore. Whereas you pretty much will always end up needing more blue orbs, especially major blues. But this thing also, despite it costing more, is also a worse troop. It just ends up creating a bunch of green and then converts them all to lycanthropy gems, which is the most annoying thing ever, and isn't even that useful. It's basically just like a little bit of a mana generator that happens to lycanthropy the entire enemy team, while also having a little bit of summon that's basically never using. You're almost never going to use this thing, because compared to Hatir and Skroll, the mythic itself, and between Skroll Reborn, you're basically never using Hatir Ascendant. It's the weakest of the 3, and there's really just no point other than the kingdom upgrading purposes, of course. If nothing else, there is the benefit of getting 2 troops in a sense, where you both get the Moon and the Hatir Ascendant, so you get a lot more towards Magrim Wood's upgrading, since it's associating to Magrim Wood, so it's basically 2 stars towards Magrim Wood, so it does have that going for it, if nothing else. But besides that, nothing really too special, and just pretty low priority unless you're doing it just solely for the kingdom upgrading purposes. It's just really expensive compared to the other ones. Even just the craft itself is the most expensive out of any of these crafts due to it consuming major blues. And the last one, and only other one, unless I forgot one here, but I believe that is all of them, is the Devil. So the Devil is exceedingly low priority. Not only is it one of the more recent ones, it just came out for Halloween like not even a month ago, but you need 5 of them for it to even do anything. Not only that, but it's also for a weapon, not a troop, so it's not even necessarily a kingdom star, since if you already have enough weapons for Golvania, you don't even need this weapon for any kind of upgrading purposes to such a degree. I don't even have it upgraded, I just have it to +5, because I believe it gets some kind of perk that makes it slightly worse if you go higher, though not really too big a deal. But yeah, it does require 5 Devils. Not only was this recent, so you probably don't even need it, but the fact that it requires 5, meaning theoretically you would have to, assuming you have 0, you would have to do 2,500 gems, technically 2,600, in order to get the Trick and Treat weapon, which is absurdly high, and obviously something that you probably don't want to do. You could get pretty much all the other tarot cards for that value. If you're missing like 1 devil, like if you accidentally like ascended your devil copies and then by the end of it you were like at 4 out of 5 and it's like, no, I can't craft the weapon. If you're like 1 or 2 short, maybe it's worth it. Even then, probably not, because you're only getting a weapon and you're not even getting a troop. Like, at least in all the cases of all these troops, when you're getting a troop drop for it, you're getting 2 stars towards the kingdom. One from the troop itself and then another from, you know, the troop that ends up crafting. One for the tarot card and then the troop that it crafts. But in the case of the Devil, not only do you need the 5, but it's not even giving you a troop. So definitely lowest priority. So just to recap real quick again, that would then be the Sun for highest priority because that ends up going to Skroll Reborn. The second priority end up being the... gosh, I could not find where it just moved to. Second priority being the Emperor because it ends up going for Leonis Tower. The third priority being the Star because it currently does not have a use, and because it doesn't currently have a use, that use could be good, it could be bad, we don't know. It's kind of a bit of a gamble, but realistically, compared to the other ones, it might be better. Then that makes 4th priority going for the Moon, and then getting Hatir Ascendant off it. If you want something more consistent, theoretically you consider Moon to be slightly better than the Star, but the Star is kind of just taking a gamble on if it will or will not end up being something useful. But if you want something more immediately useful, the Moon is technically slightly better in that regard, and then the Devil. So once again, the Sun, I'll have it in the description as well, just so it's all nice listed out. But the Sun, the Emperor, the Star, the Moon, and then the opposite worst is the Devil. And just one last time, if you need more gems, easiest way to get them without spending any money is to spam Treasure Hunt. Basically just going through Treasure Hunt as quickly as you possibly can, and then getting the loot at the end is pretty much the main thing that you want to do. If you're specifically going for gems, you actually want to prioritize getting 2 green chests. The main reason for this is the green chest is the smallest chest that ends up giving you any amount of gems. So you want to try getting those green chests, and it'll end up giving you for every single one a chance of getting 1 singular gem. And then that's how you end up getting the 50 to 80 or so gems per hour from this game mode, is basically just rushing through these, getting as many green chests. Don't combine them because you're basically wasting the value once you end up doing so, and then just hoping you get lucky off of whatever their drops are. So right here we will hopefully get at least 1 gem, and I believe we just failed and got none, which is a little unfortunate, but you basically keep doing that until you get gems. Prioritize getting as many green chests as you can, and that's one way that you can infinitely farm gems. And then, of course, the other, well, not infinite, is every hour you can take tribute off of your kingdom, and that will hopefully give you enough to close the gap on any of them that you need. And hopefully they won't get people with with the purchase thing. I feel like some people might go for it. If you feel like it's worth it, then you can, of course, since it is technically a gem sale combined into that. But obviously, that's the main gimmick that they're going for now. It's like, oh, let's go do a gem sale while doing tarot cards and see how that pans out. So obviously, that's kind of their scheme there. Anyways, it's still worthwhile nonetheless, because you can still end up getting any tarot cards that you're missing. So definitely, if you need to get on the gem grind for any of them, I would advise doing so, especially if you're only missing like 1 or 2. If you're missing all of them, of course, just go for like the more higher priority ones, like the sun and such. But it's definitely not too big a deal if you don't end up getting them. They're just kind of just stuff for a little bit of extra kingdom upgrades. And they're still all, I believe, currently right now in the Vault Key drop table. Even the star, which is one of the more recent ones, I'm pretty sure is still in the Vault Key drop table. I think it was added a couple weeks ago, pretty recently. But it is indeed in the Vault Key drop tube. All of these are. So you can still get them during Vault events and then just throw them all into Vault Keys and then still get them that way from opening all of your Vault Keys, since, of course, Nomopaloozas give a bunch of them. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. Sorry if it was a little bit more rambly than usual. It is, like, extremely late right now. Actually, what time is it right now? Like, almost 4 a.m.? I just saw that there was an update there and was like, oh, I should probably cover this. But if you guys still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Some of the stuff mentioned in this video that will be laid out a little bit better in the description as well, just if you want to like quick read. I'll probably even have it pinned yeah. But anyways, feel free to leave a like on the video. Helps out a lot and greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon. Best of luck with everything, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.